Good afternoon. A little word here on when you're filling out the medical portion of your application or either one of your appeals. There's a couple things that I would recommend. And this is definitely specifically for my clients, but I think it might be helpful for some of you if you are pro se. Okay. Um, if you haven't done it already, if you haven't applied, you don't really know what you're getting into here, but they're going to be asking you for each individual provider. Now, that's kind of a loose term, right? Is it like a doctor's office? Is it each worker in there? I've seen people put a provider in who's the doctor, do another provider page, because they have like pages in the application. And when we get the data from our clients, we actually say for each provider, and again, that's a loose term, it's very confusing, so I'm going to try to explain it here. Do a page, which has all the stuff that the SSA is going to need when we put together the application for them. So, and yes, we put together the application for our clients. If you go to Main Street doctor practice and there's Dr. Jones and Dr. Smith, and they are partners, and they're both, either one is your family doctor, depending on, you see them both, but it's always the same kind of, it's not like one's a family doctor and one's a neurologist specialist. I would put the name of the office, and then you could put in like both their names. Now, if you're doing the let's say you're doing it on the paper, okay? Because it's going to get all tied up in the weeds if we talk about online, although I could do that separately if you want. I would have the people that are treating you for one thing, and they are in one exact office, no different suite numbers, no different fax numbers for that office, and the address is identical in every way, and the phone number is identical, fax number is identical. I would make that one page. So if you have Dr. Jones and you have his PA Hawks, you can keep that on one page. You don't have to have a page for the PA or the nurse practitioner and the doctor. No, that's all one. They're one team on you for this specific thing, primary care. Some people like to think that if a neurologist and an orthopedist and all these doctors, because they have a ton of them for many impairments, are all under one big umbrella of a company. So like in my area, it might be Lehigh Valley, it might be St. Luke's, it might be Geisinger. No, you're going to want to put, if neurology is in Danville, that Danville office and the name of that office, if you know it, with the doctor and the exact address, phone, and fax. Well, they don't ask for the fax. If you're doing it for me, you're going to give me the fax. You can't just say part of Lehigh. I mean, in some cases, the SSA will be fine with it because they're going to do, if they have an agreement with that big health network, they're going to do something called we call it a HITMER. They have an arrangement with them where they can just go in and grab those records out for the entire entity, I think, the entire umbrella. However, sometimes when you see these HITMERs, they literally are for the specific doctor. I'll see like one HITMER that is all three doctors that the person has. They didn't ask for the whole thing. So you want to tread cautiously. I would put every different office you go to and if it's two different suites, that's two different offices. So if their addresses are in any way different, if the phone number is different, any part of the address is different, the fax is different, you're going to want a different page. This is how I look at it. I'm sure reasonable minds can differ. I am on the anal side, if you haven't already noticed. But we want to make sure. And then also, if you have a representative, that's going to give them more information about which doctors you're seeing and for what, just by looking at it. But it also makes for a much greater ability to, first of all, when we send out, you have to send out physical requests much of the time. When you think, oh, you can just get it from my portal. Portals are great. They have their definite uses in this field, but it is not true that they replace the actual ordering. There's things that you're not getting in your portal that they don't put in there. So that's why those physical ones have to go out, mailed and or faxed. And you have to have the exact address, or they're very well likely not going to get it or respond to it, because think about it, it's more work for them. So if there's some technicality there, even if they did get it, that belies the requirement, the HIPAA requirement, they fulfill it, they just might not. So you want to be, don't be sloppy or lazy with your documentation on your providers. That is probably the single most important thing you're filling out. So you want that stuff to be really good. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. If the address, including the suite number or the room number or the floor number, is exactly the same, and the phone number and the fax, then you could put them all under one page. Now, I am going to touch base on if you are filing your own application online. You'll see that there's a section for doctors and then a section for clinics and hospitals. For me, if there's multiple doctors treating the person, because you get whoever you get when you get, like some of these clinics, and a lot of our modern healthcare is like this. You no longer have your special doctor. It's more of a assembly line type of thing. I would put that under a clinic, because then it lists it differently, and it'll have the name of the clinic and the address, and then it has a long line where you can put in a few different doctors' names. So we'll put in various, and blah blah blah, like Jones, Smith. That's because they're all located in exactly that location. If it's a St. Luke's Neurology, or that can go in there. It doesn't have to. If the person only mentions one doctor and it happens to be at that neurology office, then it might go into a doctor listing. It doesn't matter. The information is it's going to be all the proper information. It's the two different ways the SSA puts it into their system when you're filling out an online application. But that saves you time and energy, because imagine if there are 5 doctors in the same office all doing neurology, and you're going to do a different doctor page for each 5, when you could have done one clinic page and just mentioned all 5, because they're all doing the same kind of neurology work on you. What else can I answer? Yeah, I think that's it. That's what I would say. Like when you're giving us the information, and if you're doing it for yourself. In this case, it was a question from a client. So I wanted to clarify that when you can shove everybody into one, and when you can't. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.